All right. Good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
So what we did, I give us an assignment and I asked us to visit an open source Kaggle to get some data. Have you done that?
I'm sorry, I've not done it. So yesterday when I came back, I was trying to do that, but the network and everything, so I couldn't meet up with doing it. In the night again, I tried doing it, but I couldn't do it that yesterday. Couldn't do it. I
All right.
had that yesterday to finalize it. Sorry about
All
that.
right. So what we did was to sort out our data, which is one of the steps that we have already outlined as a data analyst, that it's our duty to collect data. In other words, to bring or to sort out the data we want to analyze. Then remember the reason why I have to take us to the Kaggle, because we are learning. But once you are employed or engaged by an organization, they are expected to provide you data to work with. One of the way they can provide you, or they could provide you the data, might be sending you to maybe to their websites or sending you to wherever they must have stored their information to download them from. So while some will have as well downloaded the data from those storages and hand them over to you, maybe in form of flash drive or in a flash drive, or sending them to you via email. And then once it gets to you, you will have to know how to decrypt it if the data is zipped. And that was one of the things we learned in that class. So it was through that process that we were able to get this data that has about 6 to 7 headers. Now, and I said, we go back to that very class where we itemize the steps that need to be followed by a data analyst. That once you have your data, the next thing is not to start analysis. The next thing is for you to understand your data. Is for you to understand your data. And understanding your data means that you are going to deploy certain techniques that will help you to find out some reasonable information that will help you to draft effective analysis questions. So I want us to know that there is a connection between understanding your data and drafting effective analysis questions. No data analyst can actually derive important insights from data sets without understanding the data that will have led to drafting effective analysis questions. So we need to understand that it's very important that after we get our data, we need to understand the data. And in the process of understanding it, we are going to run some techniques now. So we assume that this is the data set that we are given. So as a data analyst, why should I study this data? Or should I just go ahead and start analyzing? Why I should study this data is that I'm not the one that collected this data. I am not the one that engineered this data. So it is normal. It is not out of context that a data analyst is taking time to understand data. It doesn't make you feel less of yourself as an expert. In fact, it is an expected act that everybody must follow. So, being that we are not the one that generated this data, we need to understand, number one, So remember the topic, understanding your data as a data analyst. That is the topic. Understanding your data as a data analyst. So let's quickly look at the general definition of that. To understand a given data is a second step in data analysis. Is a second step in data analysis. Are you with me? I said to understand your data is a second step in data analytics, which helps you or a data analyst to understand the data components or properties, which helps you to understand the data components or properties. The data components or what? Properties. This I want to know if you are getting what I'm saying. You can unmute yourself.
I'm trying to get it, but I stopped at understanding. It said it is the second step in data analysis,
Analysis that
which helps
helps good,
to understanding. I think
which helps you to understand the data components or properties, which helps you to understand the data components or properties. Are you with me?
yes, sir.
Okay, so another benefit of second paragraph, another benefit of studying data is to be able to draft strong or effective analysis questions. Is to be able to draft strong or effective analysis questions. So the question is, what do we mean by analysis question? These are some of the things that are associated with this field. Every data analyst must have the skill of drafting what? Analysis question. You know why? Because if you don't, or if you are not able to draft analysis question from your data, there are every possibility of you not coming up with any tangible or any actionable what insights. You know, somebody can analyze data. Somebody can analyze data and come up with certain statistics that this happened, that happened. And that may not be that may not be enough or effective enough for someone to make decision on, or someone may not be able to make decision based on some of those findings, which means that your analysis is weak, which means that somebody cannot rely on what you are presenting. So the genesis of that is not being able to generate what? Strong analysis question. So it's a skill set that we must have. It's a skill set because the analysis question leads to what? Strong what? Actionable insights presentation. So it's very important. So why I am analyzing, why I am emphasizing on all this as the topic is for us to understand that we need to understand our data. We need to study the data. So let's look at silent questions to ask yourself when studying your data. Silent question. You don't need to announce them. But within you as a professional, you have to be asking yourself this question. It is the question that will not determine what you are to look for in your data. Have you written the topic? Silent questions to ask yourself while studying your data. Number one, you ask yourself this question: how many fields or how many headers or how many attributes are in the given data set? Are you following? How
Yes,
many fields, or how many headers, or how many features are in the given data sets? That is the question you ask yourself. That question will help you to understand the data. Now, let's look at the techniques I'm going to use. So I've asked myself that question. I don't want to manually count, though this data length is very short. It's not that long.
sorry, sir. Sorry, I didn't get you correctly. I didn't get it very well. Say how many words? I got the second one. How many or headers attributes are in the given data set? What's the first?
How I mentioned header, I mentioned field, I mentioned
Okay,
feature. Yes,
field.
field. Yes, I mentioned field.
Field
I
is the
mentioned,
one I'm looking for. Okay.
okay, all right.
An
So what we are
attribute. Yeah.
good on attribute. Now, these three words I use are used to describe this that I'm selecting. All these header, a data analyst can refer to them as fields. A data analyst can refer to them as headers. A data analyst can even refer to them as labels. So in the course of the training, if I use the word data label, you know that I'm talking about what? The headers. If I use the word data field, you know I'm talking about the headers. If I use the word data features, you know that I'm talking about what? The header. They are interchangeable words we can use to refer to what? To the headings in your data set. So the question now is that the silent question I'm asking myself as a data analyst is, I am given this data, how many fields are here? Am I supposed to be counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. That is why we are an advanced user of Excel. As you use a function to count, not me counting. Now look at this. If I open the second data, you can see that the headers are much. Because if you are thinking of, I can easily count because there are few. What about if you are given a data like this, even the one that is longer than this? Is that how you'll be counting the one after the other? You don't need that as a data professional or as an advanced user of Excel. So what I need now is to deploy a function count A. Count A. So you write where you are writing solution. Use count A to count the total headers. Use count A to count the total headers in a given data set. Use count A to count the total headers in a given data set. Are you with me? Now,
Yes.
look at what I'm going to do. Let's assume that I just want to display the value. I have my maybe PowerPoint where I am going to note all my observation. So this is just like my technical sheet where I am performing some technicality to get some insight that I will pen down in my reports. So let's say I just want to display the result here. So I will type equals to, which you have already know as a basic user of Excel, that whenever you want to write a formula, you must start with what? Equals to or plus sign. Now, after that, you will not type the function. Remember, I said count A. We have ordinary count, but I have my reasons why I said we should use count A. We have just count like this, count. Why are we using count A? Because the type of data I am counting, they are string. They are string, which means what? Text-based data type. Text-based data type. They are not numbers. So if I want to count like this now, like these charges, they are numbers. But what I am counting, they are text. That is why you put what? Count A. You add A to it. That A that you added is referred to as what? Any type of data. Count any type of data. That is what that A represents.
And you
Count.
said they are not numbers. They are what?
You said what?
You said they are not numbers. They are what? What are they?
They are string. Let me write it here. Let me write it here. They are strings. So this
Okay.
particular word in programming means tests. So it's the same thing as what? Test.
Okay.
So anytime I use the word
Okay.
string, I am talking about tests. And you will agree with me that these are not number. Age is a test, right? Sex is a test. BMI is a test. Children, a
Okay.
test. Good. So once you are counting range of tests, then you have to use what? Count A. Count A. So now you will now highlight the argument. There is what we call argument in a cell. The argument can either be relative argument or absolute arguments. Then I said after you have activated the function, you specify the argument, and the argument can be relative or absolute. So let me specify it before I explain the difference between relative argument and what? Absolute argument. Now look at it here. Now, what is the argument? Argument means range. Let me use that word. That is the simple way we can refer to argument. Range of cells. That is the simple way we can understand argument. Now, it means that you have a starting point and you have the ending point. You must tell a cell after activating the function, where do you want to start the counting from and where do you want it to stop? Now, defining that range, the starting at the end is what we are calling what? Arguments or range. So you will now click on the first one like this, right? So a basic Excel user, pay attention here. A basic Excel user will now be doing something like this, will now be doing something like this. But you and I, we have grown beyond that level. We are advanced user of Excel. We don't need to do that. Because if it's long, that is how you keep dragging, keep dragging. Now, for you as a professional, what you need to do is to just click on the first one, hold down the shift button on your keyboard, and then hold down the shift button and the control button on your keyboard. Press the right arrow button because I am highlighting towards my right hand side. So once I press it once, let me take it again. I want to call the range. After clicking on the first one, you click where you want to start from, then you hold down the control and the shift button. I believe you know them on your keyboard. Press down those two buttons, the control and the shift button, then locate the right arrow button. That is because I want to highlight towards the right. If I am going down, I will use the down arrow button. If I am down, I am going up, I will use the up arrow button. If I am at the right hand side and I'm highlighting towards the left, I will use the left arrow button. Now let's use the right arrow button. I am holding down the two buttons, control and the shift already. Then I press what? This. You see the way it's selected exactly where you have information. Please, I need a response. Did you understand it?
Not clear.
Did you understand it?
I said not clear.
Please, I hope you are. Maybe you have to get
I'm
earpiece. So it's
trying to
like you are
unmute
struggling.
myself.
It's like you are struggling to hear me. You need to
Can you
get.
hear me? I said not clear. Not clear.
I can hear you. I can hear you. So now, let me take it again. Please pay attention. Let me take it again. Now, what we want to achieve is that we want to select from here to this place, right?
Yeah.
Which is the
Yes, sir.
range.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, and I don't want us to drag it. You see the way I drag it now. I have to click here and start dragging, start dragging, start dragging. I am saying that this method is for basic Excel user, not for professional like you and I, advanced user. We have our own shortcut
Okay.
techniques that we use in achieving things like this, where the data length is long. So what we do is, I said, once you have activated your function, You click on the start point, which is what? Where do you want the counting to start from? Have you taken that first? Let me
Yes.
know. Good.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
now after you have specified the start point on your keyboard, there is a control button. I hope you can identify it. There is control, there is a
Yes.
shift.
There.
You press down the two of them.
Yes.
You hold down those two
Okay.
buttons. Then you locate your right
Yes.
arrow button and press it once. While you are still holding down the two buttons, you press the right arrow button first before you remove your hand. I think you should have gotten it
Okay.
now. Have you?
Right arrow button. Right arrow button. Okay. Yes. Yes. It's clear now.
All right. So
Clear
now,
now.
once you have done that, now look up. If I click OK, it will tell me what? There are 7 words headers. Can you see it now? We have 7. If you manually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
So these are ways you can use to study your data. We just learned one now. If I am given a data set as a data analyst, what is the first silent question you have to ask yourself in order to understand the data you are given? What is the first silent question? I'm asking.
Mm. Mm.
What is the first silent question? You did not write it.
No, I said, okay, I should ask myself how many headers, how many fields,
And
or how many
which
attributes.
Good. And which technique will you use to answer that question? You know, you are not going
I'll
to
use
good. You use count A.
I'll
So
count A.
good. So we are stopping here. This is 5:37 already. So please, I want to advise that we should keep to time. This time is too short. I wanted to cancel the class because that time will not be we will not be able to cover much. But since you complained that you had a very stressful day yesterday and all of that, I just have to give you consideration. But please, let's try and work out. I understand that your program will still be clashing, but try and adjust so that we can have quality time for these things.
Okay, sir.
So
All
you
right,
have to
sir.
go
Thank
and
you.
work on that assignment. That one you have not done, and then practice this before the next class. Have a blessed week.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.